Alrighty, guys. It is just shy of 3:30. I'm going to start a little bit earlier today, and they have a meeting coming up here right afterwards. So, market weakness in the afternoon. So, 2 o'clock hour came in. We were holding on pretty darn good throughout the most of the day. Evening kicked in the Israeli in that part of the world, and they started to get missile barrages coming in from Iranians. So. Market started reacting right away when they started like they were shooting back, and here we go. So it's on. We'll see how this whole thing shakes out. What I would think is that we're going to see some weakness going into the close. I mean, it may not, but I mean that's what I'm thinking. Given the uncertainty, I mean they're going to trade fire throughout the weekend. We'll see how the whole thing shakes out, but it's going to be a volatile weekend. So, and I doubt the market's going to be all happy about it. So we'll probably see some weakness into the close, is what I'm thinking. Right now, since the 2 o'clock hour, we've been seeing steady weakness. We'll see a little bounce here off the low, and then we'll see where they're going to go from here. But at this point, unless they take out the lows here, and I'm going to say the down here, the 59.85 and the 59.95, these two support areas, if they can hold that, I think we have to stay range bound going into the overnight into next week. And if they for some reason close above the 6,050s again, we may be almost back to the long side, but I'm thinking that we're most likely going to stick in this range going into the overnight. The only thing concern I have is like a sell-off right into the close, the way they take out the 85s. At that point, we start off from the short side. But right now we're range bound. I would say we're looking at more weakness going into the close. We'll see how bad it gets. Right? That's what I'm thinking. For some reason, if they trade back up again, take out that 6,050, I will almost be back on the long side, but not quite. Not quite. All right, so that's where we are on the ES. No trades on the ES for me. Oops, I'm talking about the ES now, showing the NASDAQ. Oh, crap. Sorry about that. Real quick back to the ES. You can see what I'm talking about. So here we are. I'm talking about these lower support areas. So these two support areas. So that's where we are. So the 2 o'clock hour, the weakness I was just talking about. You see, you can watch your charts, but that's pretty much the dynamic. So the right into the support area, then a little retracement back to the mean, and a little bit of weakness. So the whole key thing is really, are we going to see that weakness into the close? And chances are we will. Um, I can't see rally happening this afternoon going in with all the uncertainty. So I'm thinking weakness as long as the 85 and the 95 holds, the 59.95 and the 59.85s, these two support areas, we're in good shape to stay range bound going into the weekend. Okay, now back to the Nasdaq and the bonds, and what I was showing you first. And I did take one trade. That was down here after this, the big rotation down, the stall right here. You can see that bar when they start taking this lower, that's your fake out to the downside. It's almost like you want to hop on the short side, but no. And then when they start trading higher, I was way looking at it, it's a little bounce bar. Then they start taking this higher. So I got short right here at the mode, at the high of that bar. Left my 50, my 100 tick stop, and then that was not just a little bit high. I took it, retraced. I had to fade about 50% of heat on that thing, so up to like $25 worth of heat on that contract. And then they started taking it lower. I had a pretty good trade going, I thought, looking for retest to that low. Didn't happen. They shook me out. I did tighten my stop a little bit, so I got 10 instead of the regular 3 out of it. But so $10 out of that trade, and then it took it higher. And I wasn't going to aggressively re-engage. I'm still looking for short setup, but I thought they could run it up here to the mean. And they just kind of stalled here at the tablet, and then nothing happened, and then a little rotation down here. So still waiting for that weakness. We'll see how weak it gets. But at this point, as long as they can hold, and on the Nasdaq, I'm gonna say they need to hold these two areas, the 720s and the 750s to 60s for rotations back up. Did they hold these two? 720, 750 to 60. We have a shot at staying range bound. So that's kind of where we are on the Nasdaq. But the fact that they haven't totally fallen apart is a good sign. That means that they think that it may not be a long-lived conflict. Israel is going to make quick work out of it, even if the Iranian do have ballistic missiles they can shoot off. We'll see how long that lasts until they run out or the Israelis nails them. So we'll see. And if they, we'll see. I mean, the other part that can happen over the weekend as the US gets involved for some reason, they attack a US base or something. That would be a different twist. But We'll see how weak it gets. So all that uncertainty may build up to the potential for some weakness going into the close. Bond market back up a little bit, so they've been steadily to the downside. So that flight to safety we had going into this it definitely backed off a bit. So the yields coming up or yields coming up a bit. Bond prices, well, bond prices was way down, so the yields are up. Yields are coming down just a tad as the bond prices keep trading higher. So I would start off on a short shot on the bonds. Bond might traded quite a bit lower. So I would until they take out that three-letter ledge at 1320. So I would look for shorts up to that ledge, rotations back down, and then take that out. That would be back range bound. All right, so that's the bonds going into the weekend. And then finally, oil and gold. And gold is just not backing off. That's your people who are scared, scaredy cats. They are in the bond. They fled to the bonds. They're sitting there now, and gold is sorry, the bond. They fled to gold. They're sitting in gold right now. They haven't really budged a whole lot. So they've been up here testing the highs right from the get-go, backed off a bit. So they're still holding well above the 3,400. So start from the long side. The only weakness we got was testing the lower end of the day session, and that held the 3440s, and now they're back up again. So I would stay on the long side. And probably gold's going to be probably volatile and to the upside until this whole conflict calms down. And then finally, oil. That's also up there, 73, 74 bucks. Up because this whole thing could spread. The Persian Gulf could be shut down. They could by the Iranians. Um, if that happens, could impact oil prices as well. It could be a lot of things impacting oil. Just the Iranian supply hasn't been impacted. Haven't hit any of those yet, as far as I hear. So we'll see. But if the Iranians are attacking stuff in the Persian Gulf or doing stuff like that, yeah, there's going to be an issue. It's going to be probably spiking oil prices in the short term at least. And yeah, I think the Israelis are going to keep going. At this point, the game is on, so they can't stop now. It is not like they can do one thing, one pinprick. They're going to have to keep going until they take out the Iranians' capability to fight back. So that's going to be 14 days. I think they said as long as it takes, they're going to just go at it. But I don't think it's going to last more than that. So. But then at one point they're going to run out of missiles to shoot at each other, or at least the Iranians will, because they're not getting resupplied as the Israelis are. So we will see how it shakes out. But this weekend, definitely a lot of volatility to be expected, and we'll see how that shows up in the market. I'm expecting a weak close. And here you go. So with the ES is trading back down here, slowly drifting to the downside. So. We will see, but just that one trade on the Nasdaq, good for $10, and that was it. I wasn't going to be more aggressive on the Friday afternoon like this. Don't want to kind of push it. So, but we leave it there, guys, and you have a great weekend. I'll see you back on Monday, and let's see how crazy it got over the weekend, right? Okay. All right, guys. See you back on Monday. Later.